What does it mean to us to gain emotionally? What is our one true desire that we wished could fulfill our emotional needs? Emotional needs are the most powerful thing a human being can ever know. When we desire anything or anyone, that thing or person has power over us. The need for emotional gain and desire can have more control over us than we have over ourselves. It seems illogical to desire something or someone else to complete our own personal happiness, because how much power it can give people or things over us. Our personal happiness has everything to do with what is inside of us, and not what is outside of us. If we are looking to people and things for happiness, and we see happiness in people and things, then what is missing inside of us is a connection to ourselves. When we feel an intense need for outer happiness to fulfill us on the inside, we then suffer a great disconnect from our spiritual light. We as people all possess spirits, and since we are all spirits, this means we all possess spiritual light. There may be many different types of spiritual light, and some people may have more spiritual light, and some people may have less spiritual light. We are still the light of God, and that is each and every one of us, because we are the spiritual light of God. What we are truly looking for in another person or thing is spiritual light. And when we see spiritual light in things or people, we may wish to possess that spiritual light that we see. We may see we could take that spiritual light to be happy, by using that spiritual light for ourselves, by feeding on that spiritual light for our emotional, spiritual hunger. We only need to look inside of ourselves and reconnect with our spiritual light to be happy. There was a time that people looked to steal our spiritual light, so we might have disconnected from our spiritual light to preserve the spiritual light that is within us. There must come a time where we reconnect with our spiritual light inside ourselves, and with intelligence and wisdom we need to learn that we do not have to keep hiding our spiritual light, that we can now reconnect with our spiritual light and show the world our spiritual light. By reconnecting with our spiritual light, the greater the desire for the world and people to be our spiritual light and to be our happiness is a great desire we have that can show us how disconnected from our spiritual light we are, because we are looking out into the world for the spiritual light instead of looking within for our spiritual light that is already there. The greater our disconnect from our spiritual light will become the great desire for the things and people in the world to replace our spiritual light that we may choose not to reconnect with inside of us. The further we get from our spiritual light, the greater our desires will become for this world and everything in it to be our spiritual light. We need to look within ourselves and learn to trust ourselves and learn what wisdom is, and learn how to intelligently use wisdom, so we can reconnect with our spiritual light that is already inside of us. The desires and need for emotional gain is desires for spiritual light. We already possess the spiritual light within that can give us our personal emotional gain for ourselves. We never needed to look out into the world for the spiritual light we already possess inside of us. The emotional gain we need has always been the spiritual light inside of us. We only need to choose to reconnect with what is inside ourselves, which is our spiritual light that will satisfy our need for all emotional gain.